Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about essentially white label SaaS offers. Many people watching this might be looking for something that they can join as a white label software, and they want to get into the SaaS world. I'm going to be making a video today kind of outlining everything for you because I've been in every single phase of the SaaS lifestyle, from point A to getting into the idea of SaaS, maybe not even sure what to do, and then all the way to point Z where essentially I'm financially free. I'm talking about this because I really want to impact you guys and give you guys the full scope of things before you dive deep into this. So if at any point in time you want to go out there and you want to learn how to actually market your SaaS and make money from your SaaS, you need to read my book on psychology. And I'll leave a link in the description box down below. It has, it's all about SaaS and the psychology of selling. So I'll leave the link in the description. But now let's get into the real content here. So there are different SaaS white label examples. Some of them on the screen you might know about, some of them you might not know about. So Simvoli is an example. It's a white label website builder, which I actually own one of these. Buildfire is a white label app builder. You have Design Huddle, which is like a Canva alternative that also has white label features. And then we have Envato Market, Code Canyon, which essentially you can buy a whole bunch of different SaaS white label type scripts, which I also have experience with. So let's kind of get into this. You have two tiers here of SaaS white label. You have the DIY SaaS white label, and then you have the done for you SaaS white label. So let's kind of get into it. So DIY. Everything that's Code Canyon related, where you're buying a script or you're buying a software from somebody, and you effectively have to set up the database, you have to set up your hosting, you have to set up things like that, that's going to be your DIY, right? That's going to be these kind of tools here. These break a lot more. There are a lot more issues here, but overall it's not terrible, and it's honestly a good step in the right direction for you to learn how to run a SaaS, especially for your first time. Now, once again, I've spoken about this in my last couple of videos. I'm new to YouTube in general, but I'll just say that with SaaS, the most important thing isn't necessarily the software, it's the marketing. Okay, if you actually want to make money, it's not about the features, it's about how can you promote those features. I use the famous McDonald's example. McDonald's doesn't sell the best food, but they make the most money in the restaurant industry. It's because of their marketing, it's not because of their product. Okay, but anyways, with SaaS on Code Canyon, you are going to have to learn how to install a script, which is not that hard, but you're going to have to maintain it. And sometimes that could be difficult because sometimes developers abandon their projects, but also, more importantly, it gets harder and harder to do the marketing for a product that exists out there with lots of competition. So if you look at a product like this, for example, this is called Magic AI, and I actually bought this exact SaaS just to study it on what makes it so successful, and it's nothing more than capitalizing on a trend. Okay, this product is just a kind of like a glorified open AI, or not even open AI, but an AI tool that has many different functions within it. So like, for example, you can create your own AI within it, AI prompter. You can create an image generator tool within it. You can create all kinds of chat GPT kind of thing within it. And you can configure it. You can fine tune them, right? That's really all it is. And the interesting thing about it is you have a lot of competition out there. You have OpenAI, right, with chat GPT completely for free. You have DeepSeek, you have Claude, you have so many, right? You have so many AI tools out there. Not to mention, 7,300 people bought this tool. So think about the amount of competition that out there that exists. Tools like Word Hero, tools like Jasper. These are all different versions of what this is. Okay. So the marketing gets more difficult. You have to think, okay, how am I going to compete? Am I going to compete based on price? And sometimes if you're a complete beginner, it's not a bad idea to start with something like this, because one of the biggest problems that engineers have or developers have is finalizing a product. They have a problem with that. And the reason why they have a problem with that, and the reason why I say they, and I don't include myself, is because I don't have this problem. But they have the problem where they do not know how to say no, or they don't know how to stop. And they just keep developing and developing and developing, and they're in this wormhole of just development, and they never complete. And when they never complete, they're never building a product that they could ever sell and market to. So, once again, if it was up to the engineers, the cars would never get off the assembly line. And it's completely true with developers. So if you're a developer, you might want to start off something like this, just struggling learning how to market. If completion is your problem, which most people are, but if you're not, that's fine. So be aware when you're buying a SaaS from here, two real big issues is number one, developers are either going to abandon the project at one point in time or another, or they're just simply not going to provide you any customer support because they're inundated with needs of other people. Like, for example, if you look at here, if you go to comments, there are 6,700 comments, and there are comments pretty much every couple hours. If you look here 6 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 17 minutes ago, and just constant questioning. People who buy the product, and this is just in the comment section. This is not even their customer support line. You might get an answer every 2 to 3 days if you're requesting customer support, and I've seen that happen, okay? The very first SaaS product I had, guys, was from Code Canyon. That's why I'm not hating on it. I was able to make it work, and I was able to produce an income for about 3.5 years completely passively. I was just focusing on my marketing. I would write an article every few days on my website. It would get attention, and it would create more and more customers over time. To put things into consideration, people might be curious as to how much money I made from my first SaaS. I'll put it this way. The first year I had my SaaS, I generated about $36,000, maybe a little bit more, but $36,000, and the cost was $499 a month. You have to think about that, how monumentous that is. When people are paying only $5 for my very first SaaS, and I had effectively no experience, I'm jumping into the ocean, kind of figuring things out, making $36,000 in the first year. That's quite significant. I don't know how many customers that is, but that's a lot. So it really goes to show how important marketing is. But once again, you're buying from Code Canyon. You're going to have two real issues. Issue number one is customer support, whether the developer team abandons the project completely, or number two, they take forever to answer customer support customer support requests. You're going to have to deal with that. That is a very strong reality. Okay, that's Code Canyon for you. Now, let's go ahead and go into other white label programs. So white label programs that are already built for you, are essentially turnkey, as it says here, that are done for you services. So let's use Symvoli, for example. You go into Symvoli, you pay your $1,000 or whatever it cost you, and now you have access to a software that you just plug in your own information, put in your own logo, put in your own Stripe account information. Next thing you know, you have your own SaaS. Well, here's the thing. You're going to have to, once again, figure out how to market this. Now, these cost significantly more. A product like this, let's see how much it costs. $39, I believe. $39, maybe $119 if you're going to buy the extended license. I know in this case, for this product, they do require that you buy the extended license to be able to actually turn it into a SaaS, meaning make money on a monthly basis from your customers and charge your customers. If you buy the $39 version, you can't really charge anybody. But anyways, the point is that here it costs $119, one-time payment, that's it. Okay, but with something like this, you're paying yearly, probably close to over $1,000. I can't remember how much I pay for this. I think I pay like $700 something, but I was grandfathered in. Okay, I got in early, paid my price, and grandfathered in. All right, I don't know how much it is, like I said, but the pricing is there. Now, for those who are curious, I do have a Symvoli account on white label, and that actually makes me money, but I bought it from somebody else who was running this SaaS, and they had already a bunch of customers on there. They already had a basis. Okay, so that's why I paid for it. I could have started from scratch, but once again, it would be more marketing effort. So, that's just to make it clear. But Symvoli, Buildfire, Design Huddle, there's a whole bunch of different ones that I didn't mention. There's probably thousands out there in the world, but they do exist. And what you're going to do is you're essentially paying, and you have not customer support, but you have the technology maintenance side of things taken care of for you. Okay? Now, here are a few issues here with these kind of businesses and these kind of companies. The updates take forever. I mean, when I say forever, I mean literally forever. I think Symfony made their last update like 2 years ago. Okay, so they're really, really behind when it comes down to creating new technology. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. Okay, that's a very real issue that you're going to have. Once again, you're going to have to market your own product. You're going to figure out how to market your own product. The best thing you could do first before you buy into anything like this is try to figure out, how can I market the product, and then test it in real time. Meaning, if you say, okay, I'm going to build this with a TikTok channel page, then go ahead, make your TikTok channel, and start creating videos on there and see if you actually get attention. Because what happens is you have a lot of people that like to blow smoke up their own rear end, and they like to lie to themselves. And like to say, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And in reality, they end up doing nothing. Okay? So what you're going to do is, if you say, for example, I'm going to buy a SaaS of BuildFire, and I don't know how much BuildFire costs. I believe it is the white label one. I know they have a white label here. I think it was like something like, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but like $1,000 a month or something ridiculous, or like, I could be wrong, maybe like $500 something a month. I don't know. I should probably actually Google it, but I don't want to hurt the quality of the channel right now. But they have this like expensive program, effectively. They might not share the price here, but at one point in time, it was a huge price. I don't remember what it was, but essentially, you have this app that allows you to build other apps. If you decide you want to go with this and pay whatever price it is, make sure you go out there and develop an audience first. So if you're building a blog and a newsletter, do that first. Don't just buy into the SaaS. One of the things that helped me is I had a skill prior to getting into the SaaS world. I had a skill of SEO. I knew how to build a blog and get attention for it, right? I knew how to get viewers. I knew how to get readers. And I did that very well. That was the way I was able to get that very first SaaS up and running and getting attention. I've seen a YouTube video of some guy with like 140,000 subscribers talking about different micro SaaSes, and he talks about how he failed for 3 years and his first SaaS finally makes him like $400 a month or something like that. Well, I made my first $400 in the first pretty much 16 hours that I released the app, and I made it public that the app exists. Why? Because I was already developing an audience in time. And this is what makes a difference between somebody who's an amateur and somebody who's a professional. The amateur is the guy who likes to sit there and make mistakes and learn through it. But the professional figures out, how do I do it right the first time? And how do I make sure I avoid all the pitfalls and I do it right and I invest the money to do it? So some people, and I've used this in my last video example, like some developers, when we were talking about how they go broke, they will go out there and they will beg other influencers for free press, free promotion. But if you were not cheap and you just paid the individual $500, $300, whatever they want to get paid, then you would get the attention. But once again, developers, they don't think clearly at times. Like, if they think that just by asking somebody, they're going to get free attention. So my point here is don't be cheap, but also don't lie to yourself. If you're going to build a SaaS and you want to do this through a white label process, right, then you have to be clear as to what you're going to do. Are you going to do it the DIY way, right, which is, this is kind of done for you, but it's not. You're still going to have to maintain servers. You're still going to have to do some level of technology maintenance. If you're going to do it that way, then do it, but first develop an audience. You're really not burning a lot of cash here. Here you'll be burning a little bit more cash, but at the same time, your marketing is what's gonna make you money. If you need help on the marketing, click the link in the description, read my book. It will help you understand how to sell with the power of psychology, because most developers don't know how to do it. But you need to develop an audience first. You have to develop some sort of skill, some sort of attention-based skill. So SEO, video creation, something that's going to get people's attention. TikTok's on fire. You got a lot of people watching TikTok. YouTube is good. Twitter is very good. You have a lot of people on Twitter making attention-based posts and content there. So there's a lot of ways to monetize, but you kind of get the understanding here of the different kinds of white label based services. If you want to watch more videos related to SaaS, software development, creating financial freedom through software, keep watching the videos, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye.